So the George Sutton, 31 metres long, 7.6 wide, sunk in 1883, nice old one. And she was just reported missing, basically never came home. And she is made of iron. Bit of a weird one, this one, iron sailing ship. There's her position, and she was carrying a cargo of coal. Yeah, reported missing, basically just didn't come home when expected. And they've obviously since found the wreck, so no idea why she sunk this one. And then looking at it, it's a weird one, this one. Like I said, it's an iron sailing ship. Not something you traditionally would make a sailing ship out of, I would imagine. But yeah, she's quite a small wreck, this one. So 30 odd metres long. She's very small, but she does hold fish. She sits between two popular wrecks. So she sits between the Ashford and the Broughton, which are two really popular pollock and cod wrecks. But you can see there at the bottom, so she's sitting on a gravel bottom, basically. And you can see through this dive video, as you go through, you'll see odd bits of coal. Because she's made of iron, she has held up well over the years. I mean, 1883, that's a long time to be down there in the water. But as you can see here, the actual main superstructure's held up really well. The early reports of this, dive videos or dive reports in the late 80s, actually report this wreck as being infested, and that's the exact word they use, infested with big conger eels. But over the years, as she's broken down, she tends to be a little bit more covered up in the bottom, and I can't see any eels in the dive videos that I've seen. But every wreck's got eels on it. It's been there a while. But I think whether or not there's still a lot of conger eels on it, perhaps someone can tell me who's fished it for eels. It is a smaller wreck, so anchoring it is a bit more difficult than some of the other bigger ones around. But this does hold fish occasionally. Again, I've fished it from time to time, and because it is only a small wreck, it's one of them. It tends to have a bit on it or nothing at all, I find. But others may say differently. And as you come, I think this is the bow here. You can see there's a trawl on the front of it. That's a trawler's foot rope you can see there, and a bit of net dangled all over it. So she will be a bit grabby in the front of the wreck there, and there you can see it's laying down again onto the gravel bottom there. Good view of the bottom that it sits on. But yeah, so like I said, you can see there it's got a bit of a snaggy bit at the front, and the actual superstructure itself has got lots of big gaps in it. So it probably will be a bit grabby, this one. And as you can see here, parts of this wreck, like I said now, it's been there a long time. And as it's rotting away, it's starting to really get covered up as well. So a bit of coal there. So you can see here, actually, this is not really a big part of the wreck, this bit here. I'm not sure which bit we're going over, but it's not a particularly big wreck. So if you're going to anchor it, make sure you got the skills to do it, because it's not as big as some of the other ones around it. And it probably makes it a lot more difficult if you're not too experienced. Coming onto an avionics view, bit blurred here, sorry, but this is how it looks on the app, not quite clear. So it does sit north to south, but like I said, it is only a small wreck, so anchoring it still requires a degree of skill. Drifting it's not so bad, obviously, because it does sit north to south. You can drift it quite easily, but after a couple of drifts, you've had pretty much most of it covered. So if you haven't pulled anything up on the first couple of drifts, it might be worth moving on. But it does sit between the Ashford to the west and then the Broughton to the east. So if you're going to be working that line, it's worth stopping on it and having a look. And if you have fished it for eels at all, let me know in the comments.